There are two types of people who will tell you that you cannot make a difference in this world. Those who are afraid to try, and those who are afraid you will succeed. Ray Goforth. In today's episode of the Empowered Mom podcast, I share the 20 things I will do in 2020. Welcome to the Empowered Mom podcast. I'm Nina Pierce. I have a bachelor's in psychology, master's in education, and a doctorate in motherhood as a mom of 3. Each week, I will be sharing stories and tangible advice and inspiration to empower you. With the new year, some of us focus on resolutions, others focus more on goals, and I personally focus on standards, setting standards of how I need to live each day and live my year to make sure that not only do I reach all of my goals, but I continue to work and surpass all of my goals. So something fun that I decided to do, I've seen a lot of people doing this on social media, is to come up with 20 things that I want to do in 2020. So I came up with my list of 20 things, and I'm going to share my 20 things with you, and I challenge you to brainstorm and think of 20 things that you can be more intentional about this year and 20 things that you can focus on during the year. So my number one thing is to be more present. Now, this is something that I always want to focus on, but this year I truly want to be present. And there are so many times when we are distracted or overwhelmed, and it kind of takes us out of being in the moment. But with my kids being the ages that they are, and with them growing up, which seems to be faster and faster with each year, I truly want to be present. I want to make sure that I'm not distracted when they're talking to me. I want to make sure that I am present in all of the work that I'm doing to make sure that I'm growing and doing what I need to do to make our lives as rich as I possibly can make it, and to just really take that in. I don't want to be multitasking. I kind of will give myself the name that I'm the queen of multitasking, and I actually thrive in doing many things at once, but it takes away from me being 100% present. So I want to focus solely on one thing at a time, one person at a time, and to truly be present in the moment. Another thing that I really want to do and focus more on is a digital detox. Now, I run my business on social media, and so much of my work is with technology, either on the computer, online, even on my phone. I can do all of the work that I need to do. So I find myself being on electronics, but I want to have a digital detox. So some people do a digital detox on the weekends. They'll give up using any sort of technology all weekend long. Some people will just do it with their phone. They'll give up using their phone all weekend long. But what I want to do is I want to do a sort of digital detox every single day. So I want to make sure that I am tech-free after 8 p.m. at night. So at 8 o'clock, my phone goes on silent, it gets plugged in, out of sight, out of mind, and I want to be off of my phone the entire time. I also want to make sure that during specific parts of the day are technology-free. So during all of our meals, breakfast, and especially dinner, lunch, the kids aren't really here, but on weekends, I want to make sure we do technology-free meals. So we're all sitting down, we're all present, we're not just mindlessly scrolling or multitasking, but there's no technology whatsoever. And then I do like the idea of having a portion of the time on Sunday where we just are completely technology-free. And I say we because I know I need to lead by example, but I would love to do this as a family. And we just finished winter break. The kids were home for 2 straight weeks, and they were bored. So when being bored, I see them just going on their phones and mindlessly doing stupid stuff on there. And we would even be watching a movie, or we would be doing something together but they're still constantly on their phones, and it's always a distraction, and it's just like always there in their hands. So at the end of break, when we would watch movies, we would all turn our phones in. When we would be playing games, we would all make sure our phones were in the opposite room. When we would come home from a car ride, I would collect the phones and we would all go outside and do something. And being intentional like that is amazing, because what I find is if the phone's there, it's naturally going to end up in our hands, and we're going to mindlessly be doing something on it. But if we can get it out of sight, and if we can intentionally not use it and have this detox, we're not as dependent on it, and we break that habit of grabbing it. So doing a consistent digital detox at specific times during the day, and then for longer periods of times, is something that I really, really want to focus on in 2020. Something else is truly expressing gratitude. Now, gratitude is something that I've had in place for a couple years now, but I'm really trying to focus on gratitude throughout the entire day. So I can wake up in the morning and I can write down 5 things that I'm grateful for in that moment and really focus on the little things. And before I go to bed at night, I always reflect on my day and I think about 5 things that I'm really grateful for. And it's kind of a nice way to go to sleep. That's the last thought of your day. You're going to sleep with a grateful heart, positive mind, and it feels really good. But all throughout the day, I want to make sure that I'm turning to gratitude. When I face challenges, I want to make sure that instead of feeling stressed and frustrated, I find something to be grateful for in that moment. And when I have interactions, conversations, I always want to end that interaction or that conversation by reflecting and expressing gratitude for that person or that experience that we just had. I just want to be as grateful as I can, as often as I can, all throughout the day. Something else I would like to focus on in 2020 is to meditate. Now, I have a really hard time meditating because, like I said, with being present, I am a multitasker and my mind is going 1,000,000 miles a minute. It's just constantly going from one thought to the next thought to the next. And I have a really hard time quieting my mind, quieting my thoughts, and just sitting in stillness. So while I have tried meditating for the last couple of years because I truly do know the benefits that it has, I struggle because I get distracted and then I get frustrated because I can't do it. But I feel like I'm setting myself up to fail by having such high standards. So with starting a meditation process in 2020, I plan on just letting myself sit in silence. And when I find my mind wandering, I'm going to correct it, and I'm just going to sit as long as I can and intentionally do this. And I know that if I continue to do it on a daily basis, then I will get better and better at it. And it's just kind of this nice calming release of all of that anxiety, all of the thoughts, just everything. And I know I need this probably more than anyone because I cannot turn my mind off. So I'm not going to have super high expectations, and I'm not going to get frustrated when I start to do this and I struggle with it. I'm just going to give myself grace, and I'm going to show up, and I'm going to continue to do this every day until I can finally shut my mind off and quiet those thoughts for a longer period of time each day. Another thing I want to do in 2020 is I want to go on regular dates. And when I say dates, obviously I want to go on more dates with my spouse. Like, we need to be more intentional about doing this and doing it regularly. And it can be, a date to Costco. It can be a coffee date. It can be a walk. But I just want to do this regularly. But not only with my spouse. I want to date my kids. I want to have that one-on-one time with them, have that special time where it's just me and one of them, and not have the competition and the comparison and the distraction. And I also want to intentionally do this with friends as well. When I say it as a date, I think is just more meaningful and gives it more clarity. I think so often when we get together with friends, it's easy for us to be distracted. But if we say like, oh, it's going on a date, we're going on a lunch date, we're going on a coffee date, and it's just having more of that intimate time together, which I think is necessary. And it's funny, so far, all of these things that I've shared have so much to do with being more present, being less distracted, and just being more in the moment. So I think that, like not even realizing it when I made this list, but now talking through it, I think that is a theme for me this year, for sure. All of these things keep coming back to that, which is kind of cool. So now, another thing that I want to do is finish the things that I start. So I love to start projects. I have so many different ideas. I love to work. I love to create. But so often I get in my own way and I start things and then I don't finish because of fear or limiting beliefs. And yes, even though I can talk about this all day long and I can help other people with this, I still struggle with it. So whenever I start something this year, I want to make sure that I do set a deadline and I see it from start to finish and I truly finish all of the things that I do start. And sometimes that's like super simple and it's just finishing a conversation, or it's just finishing a routine that I want to implement and not just doing it for 1 week or not just doing it for 1 month, but truly doing these things all year long. But specifically for me, all of the different projects that I start, I want to make sure that I actually finish and implement with fidelity. Another thing that I'm really working on this year is decluttering. I want to get rid of all the clutter. And yes, the physical clutter, so the collection of this and the collection of that, I think I'm pretty good at getting rid of that stuff. I don't have I don't have sentimental feelings about actual physical things. I'm okay getting rid of things. I don't need to hold on to things. So I feel pretty good about that. But more specifically, it's just kind of like decluttering all of my thoughts and all of my ideas and just getting clarity in everything that I do. I don't want to have this confusion or any second thoughts or just kind of going this way and going that way. I want 100% clarity in what I'm doing. So I want to declutter my mind and keep it super simple and straightforward. A huge priority of mine in 2020 is to invest in relationships. I feel like we are going through the motions of life right now, and we are all so busy, and being busy is a badge of honor. And so often we are coming and going, we have conversations with people, or, it's a quick hi and goodbye. But I want to truly invest in relationships and not be so busy. But when I see people, I want to stop and I want to listen and I want to have a conversation. When I am with people in social events, I want to make sure that I'm listening more than I'm talking, and I'm just truly fostering that relationship and sharing the love that I have for other people. And just truly taking the time to be there for people and to be there for the people that I do love. But then anybody that I interact with on a daily basis, I want to make them feel that they're loved and that they're needed and that they're important. So just really being intentional and investing in my day-to-day relationships and the most important relationships in my life, making sure they're as functional and as meaningful as possible. Something that I'm going to do in 2020 is work out every single day. So this was actually something that I heard from my mom. She wanted to make sure that she rode her bike every single day. And she said that doesn't mean that she's going to go on a long bike ride every day, but just, even some days it might just be getting on her bike and riding around the block. So for me, I want to work out every single day. Now, yes, working out as a lifestyle for me is something that I do, but I do take rest days or, we'll take a day off and just say, I'm not going to do anything. But on my rest days, I want to make sure I move my body because I do feel so much better mentally when I do move my body. So instead of having rest days, I want to make sure that I have an active recovery day or I'm outside walking or doing something. So every single day, I am moving my body and doing some sort of workout for at least 30 minutes a day. And that might mean doing yoga. It might mean doing an active recovery stretch. It might mean going for a run, going for a hike, going for a walk. But I want to have some sort of exercise every single day in 2020 because I know that's what makes me feel the best. I want to make sure that I'm really focusing on fueling my body. And I'm pretty good at this. I'm pretty good at eating super clean and putting the right foods in my body. But I want to be more aware of what I am eating and how my body is responding and making sure that I am fueling it the right way. And I don't want to have any junk that's not going to serve my body. I know that I can eat clean and I can eat delicious food without compromising nutrition. So I'm not going to deprive myself while fueling my body. I'm just going to choose the foods that fuel my body while also satisfying my taste buds and my cravings and desires. And a big thing with fueling my body that I need to do is to focus much more on proper hydration. That's an area that I can always work on. I want to make sure that I'm doing personal development every single day in 2020. So listening to podcasts, reading books, journaling, doing my affirmations, reviewing my intentions, and just really learning from as many people as I can on a daily basis because I love learning and I love growing and I know this is the way that I'm going to do it, but I want to make sure that I do it every single day. And some days it might be less than others, but I want to make sure that when I'm doing it, I'm not just doing it to check the box. And I think a lot of times when we say we want to do something every single day, we do it to check the box, but I want to read personal development intentionally. So when I say that, it might not be doing it for 30 minutes every day because I might listen to something or read something and really need to sit in it. So I might read a page from a book and then I might have to really sit in silence and reflect on that or even journal and kind of take notes to reflect on it further. And that's the kind of personal development I want to do this year every single day. I want to go deeper and deeper into it. One of the biggest struggles I have is I say yes to everything. I am the people pleaser. I am the helper. I am the one that will compromise my own needs to put others first. So this year, I want to say no more. So when it's not convenient to me or when I really shouldn't be doing it or taking more on, I want to make sure that I say no. So I want to only say yes to things that are going to grow me, that are going to grow others and grow my family. But I want to say no to the things that are not going to serve me. Another thing to focus on in 2020 is to put my ideas into action. So this kind of goes with finishing what I start, but I also have so many ideas. And I feel like I'm sitting on my ideas because I do have those limiting beliefs. So I want to take those ideas, and I've actually already mapped out the ideas and kind of given me a time frame of what I need to do to actually take action. But I truly want to take these ideas, the ones that I've had on my mind for a while now, and I want to actually take action and make these ideas into a reality. So that's going to take work every single day to make sure I do it. Something I want to focus on, and I want to do this as a family as well, is regular random acts of kindness. And these can be super simple things, or they can be more complex things. But I do want to make sure that I am on a consistent, regular basis doing random acts of kindness and just filling other people's cups up, because I have that power and I think it feels good when I do that. I want to go with the flow and trust the process. So again, this is kind of that control freak in me where I'm constantly going. I need to be super busy and I need to control my outcomes. I always have to be in control of what I'm doing, and I try to control the outcomes. But this year I want to go with the flow and trust the process, which leads me to the next thing I want to do in 2020, which is truly surrender. I need to trust that I am exactly where I need to be in this moment, and I need to trust that I'm doing everything in my power to be the best that I can possibly be, and just surrender the rest of it to the universe and trust that I'm going to get where I'm meant to be if I continue to strive to do the best and be the best that I can possibly be. In 2020, I want to take advantage of traveling. In 2019, I had a goal that I was going to travel every single month, and I just about did that. And sometimes it was local travel. It was just getting out of town and just kind of unplugging a little bit and taking advantage of some of the beautiful places we have that are close to us, an hour away, and just truly being a tourist in the state we live in. But I also want to make traveling a priority for my family. And I want to travel as often as we can and just truly discover other people and other cultures and the beauty that we have on this earth. And it's something that I think should be one of our biggest investments, because we learn so much about ourselves and about everything through traveling. And it's just something that, I don't know, it fills me up more than anything else. So I want to travel as much as I can this year. And now the last two things, number 19 and 20, are probably the most important things on the list of what I want to do in 2020. And I actually wake up each morning and I remind myself of these two things, because I think these two things fuel everything else and dictate the way I approach my day and relationships and what protect my energy and keep me super motivated and disciplined. So number 19 is to make an impact. Every day we have an opportunity to not only go after our dreams and go after our goals and to be the best version of ourselves, but we have an opportunity to make an impact on others. And I want my work and my day to be as purposeful as possible to truly make an impact. So I want to make an impact on my own kids and my own family, obviously, but I want the work that I do to leave my house and enter other houses and to truly make an impact on as many people as I can. I want my success to leave my house, and I want other houses to have the same success and the same growth that I've had. So that's probably the one thing that I'm going to focus on, and I remind myself of every day when I wake up that my purpose is to truly make an impact. And the last thing that I want to focus on in 2020 is to empower others. So it kind of goes hand in hand with making an impact, but I want that desire to make an impact. I want to empower others to do the same. I think we have so many incredible opportunities at our fingertips, and we have so much power inside of ourselves to make this world such a better place and to live the life that we desire and to create that life that we want to live. And I want to empower others to go out there and do the same for themselves, but also to pay it forward and do it for others as well. So that is my list of the 20 things I want to do in 2020. And it's a deep list, but I feel like if I focus on that my ultimate goal will be achieved. And my ultimate goal is to live the best life that I can live by being the best person that I can possibly be. And I feel like doing these 20 things will allow me to be my best person and ultimately live my best life. So there is my 20 things to do in 2020. And I would love for you to share yours with me if you decide to come up with your own.